Continuing here. Yeah, about equity in your house. And you think this is so great. You don't care how it happened through crony capitalism, market manipulation, collusion of special interest groups. So that to you is not ill-gotten gain because in your mind as a homeowner, you think it's working to your benefit or has worked to your benefit. And I'm here to tell you it hasn't. You're being short-sighted because you're not free. Okay, it's constricting you. It is limiting you. It is stifling you because you're not free to move. Okay, if you move anywhere, you sell your house and you've got that 300,000 bucks from selling your house. Let's say you take that and you say, well, I want to move somewhere else. I want to move somewhere I like better. Well, chances are that place that you like, that that you want to move to, that you think is better, other people thought of that too, like probably somewhere closer to the coast, right? Do you have any idea what you're going to pay? Your property taxes in California have been based on what you paid, the purchasing price of your home. So that percentage, whether it's 1%, you think it's been a nominal fee for decades, right? Because you paid 10, 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000 for your house maybe, right? If you bought it before, let's say, the 1980s. Okay, but that's when things started changing, right? Yeah, we've had creeping crony capitalism since the murder of JFK. Okay, that was the whole purpose. They can't let true capitalism work. Okay, because if it did, it would lead to freedom, universal prosperity through universal prosperity, and they can't have that. That's it. They need enslaved minions that are living in fear. Financial insecurity is a very real, tangible form of fear, and it makes people desperate. And so they commit crimes. So it gives relevance to these authoritarian types. Do you understand? It gives them an excuse to exist because we don't need them. So it's really evil. So your equity, when you got to go buy a new house and you're going to pay 500,000, well, I can afford to pay on 200,000. I got a pretty good retirement pension, whatever, or a good job, combination thereof, whatever. So you think that you can afford to pay that 200,000? No, I want you to pay your 300,000. You put that all down payment on your house. Remember, your taxes have gone up dramatically because you're paying taxes now on a $500,000 house. You thinking? You understand? Forever. And that's only going to go up. They'll inch the way up, even if it's through fractions of a percent, quarter percent or something, tenth of a percent, half a percent, whatever. Because seldom you hear property taxes going up a full percent. That's pretty radical. But we've seen housing valuations, okay, what they call, there's no substance at all to these appraisals that the banksters do anymore. Nothing. That's all out the window now. It's just whatever the market will bear, whatever. But you see, it's just not fair under these circumstances because the government's involved stifling affordable housing production by making it cost prohibitive, it'd be foolish. Why would anybody build houses for people like, blue collar people when they could get so much more? So the contractors, the builders, the developers have no interest in affordable housing. There's no money in it. Do you understand how this thing works? So there's no check and balance to protect the rights of the poor, struggling, wannabe middle class people out there. Okay, nothing. There's nothing left anymore. And the government's involved. And the government, that makes it fascist. And the government knows they get more money from tax assessments, so they've got, that's their incentive. So you understand who these collusive special interest groups are that have driven up the cost of housing and the motivation behind it. Even the innocent little homeowner, why he just goes along. Well, who in their right mind, if you are a homeowner and you want to sell your house and move somewhere, who's not going to take every penny they can get? Yeah. Myself included, I'm not going to play stupid here. I get it. Well, you're going to need every penny because you're going to have to pay a lot more. You see how this thing works and how it can't work indefinitely. without severe implications, we're going to be a third world country. We're going to be worse off than a third world country because we're different. We're Americans, and our fall from grace is that much further. When people, didn't ever have anything really to speak of, they never were industrialized like in America, where there's no excuse for everything not being dirt cheap and the worth of your money being through the roof, according to true capitalist laws of supply and demand and free market principles. So we haven't really had a semblance of true capitalism in America for a long time. But I largely blame Bill Clinton for a huge increase. So it's sort of like you're ripping the Band-Aid off, right? Analogy. Where look, if we're just going to have inflation, then let's do Zimbabwe or Weimar Germany and get it over with, because that is market manipulation. That's how cost of living inflation, dramatic cost of hyperinflation, what they talk about. That's how it happens. I mean, it's just complete helter-skelter criminality, and it's so obvious in your face, like what they're going through in Venezuela right now. It's better off because of the Band-Aid analogy. What do? You just rip the damn thing off, all admitting that we need to have an economic reset here, man. We need to revalue our currency based on reality. We need to start this game fresh again. You understand? So we need a new currency, a competing currency. Mike Adams, a man I have great respect for, the health ranger. Oh, I was on Alex Jones' show, and he was talking about, this idea of decentralization, and I wholeheartedly agree. Decentralization is great. That's another way to skin the cat, and he was referring to that in currency too. But here's the catch with decentralized currency: nice in theory, it's a good philosophy to bandy about, but you know something. It's a niche market because most people want a universal currency, at least within the borders of their own nation. So if they say, well, I want to up and go to this state or that, they don't want to want everything complicated with, oh, wow, what currency do they take and what's the exchange rate and all that sort of thing. No, we at least need a national currency. JFK was onto that. Why do you think he got murdered? I mean, cui bono, who benefits? I mean, it's just absurd that we tolerate the Federal Reserve existing anymore. From that day on, their numbers should have been punched, man. You're out of here, dude. That's it, man. Why? Because JFK was actively abolishing the Federal Reserve. Do you understand? Look up Executive Order 11,110. Okay, I'm not making stuff up. This is serious stuff that we've accepted in America as Americans. God almighty, our foreparents would just be rolling around in their graves and they'd just be rebuking the hell out of us right now. I'm scared, man. I mean, I tell you what, I mean, I just don't know how far down this evil rabbit hole we're going, okay, before we get it, before Trump's able to turn this ship around, okay? It's taken a while, just like turning any ship around. So we're not going to see immediate results, and it's going to have to be a lot more than tariffs. That's a great start to paying off the national debt. It's going to have to be a lot more, which is something the evildoers don't want. They want that debt to increase in perpetuity, which everybody knows, logically speaking, axiomatically speaking, self-evidently speaking, it can't ever happen. So these people are insane that are trying to drive the ship. And they just don't care. I mean, these are insane, stupid, like children. They're mortal too. I mean, they're going to die and they're going to have to answer their maker, but they don't care. They don't see that as pertinent or relevant. They don't value their conscience, man. They're not normal people. These people have apparently, by their fruits, abandoned conscience. The fear I have in my soul of just saying, no, I'm arrogant to the point where I don't care about answering to my owner that created me, gave me life, gave me existence, gave me everything I've ever enjoyed in life. All the pleasure is from my God, the Creator, my divine parents. In our right minds, we want to be answerable. We want to, hold our own feet to the fire and protect our own reputation and conscience and, moral boundaries and our integrity and honor and all this stuff. But these people apparently don't care about that crap. But they're just as mortal. They're going to meet their maker. But that's who's really in charge still. And the only advice they have is this is all we know. We just got to keep clipping your coins, continue with the currency debasement through raising your cost of living tax. Remember, I'm talking about two types of taxes there. Cost of living tax. That tax you pay to the government entities, whether it's city, county, state, federal, quasi proxy, combination thereof. Okay, those are all government entities. That's one set, where you got to pay fees, your registration on your car, for example, all that kind of stuff. Okay, when you pay a ticket, that's where it's all going. You understand? That's government. That's your cost of living tax relative to the government. The other cost of living tax is relative to private entities. Okay, and a lot of these people get a lot of government money. Guys like Rich Dad, why do you think, and his ilk, why do you think all these people in the property management industry, how do you think this happened? They're subsidized. You understand? This is a welfare subsidy these people are getting. We, the tax-paying American public, that goes into the government coffers, we pay $50 billion just to the Section 8 housing. $50 billion every single year. It's a lot of bread, and it's going in the pockets of men like Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and his ilk. Remember, it was Carlton Sheets through the 80s. They're just pushing their books. Misery loves company. You understand? These are people trying to convince you to be part of this collusive special interest group, because that's what it is. You have an interest now, whether you're a speculator, you're a flipper, okay, an investor, okay, a landlord, okay, mogul, real estate mogul. You understand? You're making it, and you're not sticking to high end stuff. Okay, that's my objection too. I mean, if you just want to play games with high end properties, real estate, mansions and whatnot, I don't give a crap. But what these people are doing, they're pulling off all the low hanging fruit. They want those houses that are coveted by a struggling young working class couple to get their starter home. That they're yoink. They've teamed up with the Federal Reserve, okay, another collusive entity, right? So these private interests like Robert Kiyosaki and his type, they join up and say they call OPM, other people's money. They socialize the debt, goes on all of our backs, whether it's through a cost of living tax from a private entity or a cost of living tax through a governmental entity or a combination thereof, which is typically what it is. Okay, so that's what's going on here, folks. They've taken the low-hanging fruit, and that's what they tell you: get those fixer-uppers and snap them up and fix them up and make a profit, make a quick profit. Don't care about Joe Schmo. It's not, your problem is looking after old number one. So this social Darwinian thinking has been foisted upon us. It's been slowly and gradually adopted. Okay, it's just what it's a form of devouring one another and dividing us through classism and all this stuff, class envy, and it's very effective. Okay, we're really in it deep. We're really in a lot of trouble, and I am scared for humanity. I don't know what it's going to take to turn this ship around. I don't know how much pain we're going to have to go through, but God help us. Because I feel like Scripture. I feel like, that period in time when the hearts of men are going to fail. Because I'm feeling not that great. That, what, I just want things to change. And I don't want to see anything bad happen. I don't want Trump getting assassinated like JFK. But remember, they don't want this debt paid off. That's why they're against these tariffs. All these establishmentarians, from the Pope to all these senators in Congress, John McCain hated Trump, and all these sycophants. I mean, they don't even know why they adore John McCain, but yet they are all out there. Oh my God, anybody says anything about John, you're a traitor, you're treasonous, how dare you? He's the best American that ever walked in America. I mean, he could do no wrong. He was a POW, and even though he sung like a canary, and even though he, if you look into the Keating Five, and you look into his connection with the freedom fighters like ISIS and ISIL, okay, how he, in his own words, knew them intimately. I mean, you put two and two together, and you go, oh my God, who are these people, these establishmentarians that just think he's just the cat's meow? Who are these people? And the mainstream media just has to go along with that party line because it's handed to them by the Bilderberger Group. That's who the grand puppeteers for the mainstream media are. So they're pulling the strings of all these people. Want your multi-million dollar contract with NBC or CBS or ABC or this or that? Then you better fall in line here and spew what we want you to spew and ignore what we tell you to ignore. Focus where we tell you to focus and don't pay any attention to where we tell you not to. That's it. We're manipulating, we're steering, we're corralling humanity, and we got to keep doing that. Okay, this is how we keep the trajectory we want to go of madness. Remember, death and destruction. That's all they have to